all these emotions.
Wait, Belch, what?
Vomit.
They put me in the game!
Großmesser.
That game looks old and bad.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, you should buy a VR headset. There's one on Amazon for $699.99.
I used to think that VR would be the future of gaming, and maybe one day it will be, when we fucking evolve. But in those days, we had something better. Wiimotes! What, you're sick of using that precise, efficient button technology to slice demons with your sword? No, nobody fucking said that. Wiimotes and motion controls suck. But hey, I'm not playing just any game. I got Dragon Quest swords! Man, Dragon Quest is so sick. It's so big in Japan. Man, they got promotional deals with their goddamn convenience stores. And where would the West be without Dragon Quest? Who the fuck wrote this? You think this is fucking funny? No, we all know, okay? This franchise sold like shit in the West. They just gave us a pack of spin-offs, called it fucking Dragon Warrior for 15 years because this prospect of a quest just isn't enough for some people. You know what? You make me sick. And now I'm doing this shit-ass spin-off on the Wii and you make me fucking sick. Hi, Dragon Quest Swords is a game where the people at Square Enix said, man, I hate making good games. Bam, Dragon Quest Swords. No! You know you're in an English Dragon Quest game if the characters have offensive European accents.
He's only gonna challenge Claymore's son. Claymore being one of the famous warriors what defeated Cyphos, the Deathbringer.
Also inexplicable Chinese people in fantasy Europe. You play as the king of all Korean perms and the son of an ex-soldier. We're friends with royalty, the queen's missing, and fish on legs screams at the moon.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Pretty soon we're off to complete the town's coming-of-age ceremony. Well, this is just shaping up to be your average Dragon Quest game. The story isn't amazing. I mean, Dragon Quest games have always prioritized, I don't know, colorful palettes to engaging story, at least compared to Final Fantasy. But for the first time in my life, I can be a swordsman. Jokes aside, for a kid, this is like getting a Star Wars game where you actually swing a lightsaber. It's hard to criticize the game up front. You know what to expect walking into a motion controls game. Moving, just on its own, is super primitive. You can walk and run, which amounts to anime motion lines blurring the screen, even at a leisurely jog through the countryside. You can't turn except in town, really, and it's super slow and dumb. Just make a quick turn, like, I don't know, a better game. Dragon Quest is a JRPG franchise, so you're often fighting random battles like this. And you do that 200,000 times to get levels and coins. But in DQ Swords, the enemies just kind of waddle in front of you and you're like, oh shit, dude, and just start hacking. It's kind of like the old games, but with really accurate and effective motion controls. No, they had to put a button in the game to center your attacks so you don't miss everything. It really is necessary. Also, you can block. I mean, all things considered, it isn't hard, except for a few standout fights, but the low difficulty makes it so goddamn boring. I'd only recommend it to casual gamers who are also Dragon Quest fans. Going through the levels, you're gonna find forks in the road, but they don't even offer alternate routes to complete the goal, generally speaking. I know they're there to pad game time, because this shit's like 8 hours long, but these alternate paths lead either to a giant impassable rock you just can't get through till you're done the game the first time, or to treasure, and then you just head back to where the path split. Am I the asshole here? I was legitimately expecting whole new paths to complete the dungeon. Like one's harder and the other's easier. Some of them are like that, to be fair, but very few. I'm sailing away. Set a course for the lyrics, cause I don't fucking know them. Oh my god! Did you know there are 3 companions to acquire in this game? Each one will have to accompany you at least once, and then you'll just pick the girl. Just pick the girl, she's the best one. Unless you can't stand her stupid fucking French accent.
Her Majesty came to meet my brother.
She also insists on calling you Blade, no matter what you name yourself.
Oui, Blade, oui!
I think that might be a really sloppy workaround for her using a name in the dialogue when she refers to you in Japan. Sorry, let's do an introduction to our fine adventuring friends. Prince Anlis, he calls the queen Mama.
Mama!
Claymore's your dad.
I'll be thinking of you, though. I may even remember to raise a glass to you down the pub.
You're an alcoholic. Florette is an ex-nun wearing striped socks, boots, and a choker. She's calling you Mon Cherie and my hero the level after she meets you.
Oui, my hero.
Be gone, fuck!
At the end of the stage, there's a boss fight. You'll kill whoever the game throws at you and get a ranking, like in Sonic the Hedgehog. Only I have no incentive to go through these levels again because there's nothing worth finding. Aw shit, dude, the bar where my alcoholic father goes has my scores on the wall. Now I'll never get his approval. Your dad was a warrior in this game, and apples don't fall far from the tree. Lest they know what's good for them.
It's naught but men's talk.
You brag that you have sexually assaulted women.
No, I didn't say that at all. This was locker room talk.
I swear Akira Toriyama gets paid 10 yen for every official art of his used in Dragon Quest games, and Square's just so fucking stingy they take a monster he's drawn, make 3 copies and dump paint on him to save money. You're gonna be seeing a lot of the same monsters. Combat-wise, most of them are just gimmicks. Makes sense, there's a bunch of them and bosses are supposed to have the mechanics, so each monster gets to be a one-trick pony. Some just stand far away and attack periodically. Some just stand far away and use magic that has to get reflected periodically. Some just stand far away. Okay, a lot of them just hang outside of reach, because once they're in front, you kill the cunt. I think the challenge for the devs was to combine them in the most annoying ways possible, but only near the end of the game. I would be remiss to not mention the master strokes that are Dragon Quest's way of incorporating motion controls in a fun way, where you do a stupid motion control and get a lot of damage, and you have to earn it by doing a lot of damage. You get this one, which you do a figure 8 for a while. That gets old after a while. Oh yes, I love cost-prohibitive game items that require grinding to make the game easier. Oh, I love them so. Did you know that every character in the game is stupid? Did you know that every part of the story is stupid? Did you know? So in the lore of the game, the evil monster that your dad sealed away was forced to wear a mask. And because it's a mask from the mirror world, it's called the Rorim mask. Very clever. Oh shit, speaking of which, in the mirror world, we find the sacred sword, Rednesadner. Rednesad fucking Rendasunder. It's Rendasunder backwards because mirror place. Like say Link goes to the mirror world on his quest to get the sacred sword of demon slaying called Drauzretsu.
So, humans, shall we? Through terror, morbid misery, and dire despair, I will teach you how to feel them all!
I think I figured out why he's called the
Deathbringer!
This game was pretty damn easy so far, but now we're on the final boss. He's kind of a pain, but whatever. Turns out I was supposed to level up my sword and fight him again, so let's do that again. And again. How are you supposed to fucking goddamn fucking bullshit. God damn. The simultaneous best and worst thing about this game is how it uses nostalgia. If you've played a Dragon Quest game before, everything's familiar. Praying at church to save your game, literally every monster in the dungeons and how they palette swap enemies constantly, the series' own brand of limp comedy, mini medals for awards, all the sound effects, and slimes! But all of it covers up a really bland, really short experience that barely pushes the console to its limits. It feels like a budget title, which, to be fair, the game was originally a launch title. And if you're new to Dragon Quest, it just throws the basics of the franchise at you in a neat little package to hook you into the franchise. I wouldn't have a problem with this, but man, the bosses are literally normal enemies, or bosses from Dragon Quest games. I've seen them 1,000 times before. Could they seriously not be bothered to apply a little creative integrity to their work? It's a joke, but none of that would be a problem, right? If the game wasn't, say it fucking with me, full retail price at launch. What is the games industry's problem? Why is everything full retail on launch even if it's got half the content of your average game? Who makes those decisions? Why do they have no integrity? And where's their fucking soul, bro? Toriyama. Here to seek the great Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Quest franchises. I'm a multimillionaire. The answer that you seek is... What have you done for me? Not like this. I'll have my revenge. This video took way longer than it should have to make, but I'm glad it's done and I'm grateful you're watching it. If you found any kind of humor in this at all, I'm sure you'll like the ones below, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching my stuff, the few people who make it this far.